Moments with God, a time of reflection for every day.
February 26th. Under His discipline. Wherefore lift up the hands which hang down, and the feeble knees, and make straight paths for your feet, lest that which is lame be turned out of the way, but let it rather be healed. Hebrews 12:12-13. The experience that the country of Japan has gone through is inspiring. It was not easy for that nation to lose the war, in addition to two important cities, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and recover to be the economic power it is today. It was not a matter of luck, nor does their success depend on them being born to be rich, but rather they achieved everything with effort and sacrifice. At a historical imperial conference on August 9, 1945, Emperor Hirohito made it abundantly clear that his country had lost and was surrendering to the Allied powers. It was harder since then there was eternal struggles, and the desire to remove from power the man who had hurt national pride so much. But since that surrender, they began to get back on track. They started from scratch again, and only a few decades later, Japan returned to the top of world powers. In the Christian life, it also takes effort. We will not be able to advance further if we lose vigilance and stagnate in a position for which we no longer continue to grow. There is a need for our faith to be perfected every day, and for this the methods and ways of the Lord are different from our expectations. The context of our meditation verse in the book of Hebrews is interesting. It is telling us about the trials and persecutions that as Christians we have to face. The Bible tells us that it is necessary for our development and growth to go through circumstances in which we have to place our faith firmly in God. Because the Lord's desire is that we grow in patience and love and all Christian virtue, which is why these are the difficult circumstances in which we have the opportunity to develop in faith. And you have already completely forgotten the words of encouragement that as children are addressed to you who are. My son, do not take lightly the discipline of the Lord, nor be discouraged when he rebukes you. For the Lord disciplineth those whom he loveth, and scourgeth everyone that he welcometh as a son. What you endure is for your discipline, because God is treating you like children. What child is there whom the Father does not discipline? For God allows us to go through adversity, anguish, and afflictions. But the Lord is faithful because He always goes by our side. Obviously, He does not send us evil, nor are temptations from God, but He allows Satan to act, even on His children, so that we, using faith and the power of God, can defeat him. God is not the author of any evil. It is Satan who attacks us. And of course, not with all the fury of his power, since God sets limits so that he does not destroy us. And only to the extent that we can endure do afflictions come into our lives. For no one is afflicted more than he could endure. God is just, and he does not allow Satan to use all of his power against us. So those afflictions that come from Satan, and by the very fact that God allows them, are attributed as discipline of the Lord. That is, he allows them. So we must lift up the fallen hands and the paralyzed knees, declares the Bible. In addition, we must make straight paths for our feet. Well, the idea is to get up in every difficulty and that the uncomfortable and difficult circumstances that we have help us not to stray in faith. Adversities have to polish our faith, and it is only when we cling to Jesus that we can endure. Let us raise our fallen hands, knowing that discipline helps in our life of faith, so that our feet do not follow wrong paths. If we are overwhelmed by affliction, let us think that the tests pass and we will have climbed one more step on our path to heaven. Amen.
Thank you for listening to this audio. We invite you to share with your contacts and visit the website BibleWell.com.